So you're converting more online audience into, let's say, your live stand-up audience, and of course it's a different experience to watch that. Basically, because even with the crowd work material that you put up, the Bangalore recording at TCC that you had done, that blew up, right? Like, what was your intention behind doing it, shooting it, editing it, releasing it, and how has it been different after?
So I started doing crowd work not because I wanted to do crowd work. I had once Kal Main Udega was done, my new 1 hour was ready, in the sense which had to be tried, tested, made into a proper, a smooth show. Grin Revolution does a lot of alt comedy stuff and run by Rohan and Shrimoy. And so they used to do crowd work nights. So I used to go there and do like 10, 15 minutes. It's a lineup. And I remember one of those days after I've done 2 or 3 shows with them, Rohan, Shrimoy and we were just talking, and Rohan and Shrimoy both were like, Rahul, you really enjoy this. We can see it on stage. You love this. And we love seeing you because it's so it's a joy to watch you like what you're doing. Why don't you do a 1 hour show, like a dedicated show just for crowd work? I was like, how can you do a 1 hour crowd work show? People get bored. It's like, no, you can, you just try it, and we are sure that you will love it. And then I started doing trial shows with them. And there's something very exciting about doing something new, right? So I was in that routine, like, oh yeah, ek special chalo naya show abhi likh diya hai. I have to start touring and making it better. And then suddenly out of nowhere this crowd work thing came because someone else said you're good at it, or you enjoy doing this. And then I started doing that, and then it was fun, right? And then I started doing shows, and then I realized that a lot of people come to watch because no one reads descriptions, right? They just see the photo, and if they like, they come. So people came with an expectation that I'm going to do stand-up, even though the name of the show is like Rahul Crowd Work Show or whatever. And then they didn't know. They were very nervous. A lot of them are intimidated. So I thought, and I was enjoying crowd work. I was like, okay, so the best way for me to do is shoot a couple of videos, put it up so that people also know what crowd work is. And my audience knows this is what is there. And then I can do more shows where people can come, with knowing what they're signing up for. That's why I shot those 2 videos. Although, again, these were like promoted as crowd work shows, description, everything. But 70% of the people who came there, they had signed forms while entering, because this is going to be recorded. Do you have any problem? If you have a problem, then we'll refund. You can go back or whatever. And then people came, and that's when I recorded. My idea was to reach out to my audience, the audience who likes my stuff, right? And that's when I put up. I didn't expect it to blow so much, but it was unique in a way. Not that I'm not the first Indian stand-up comedian to do crowd work. All of us have done crowd work at different points of time, during hosting, during our sets. Some of them have done shows, like Danny has done full show. He's done marathon shows. And so I'm not the first one. Veer has done crowd work. But I think for my audience, they didn't know what it was. And then they saw that they liked it. Those videos got like a following, in the sense, people who liked, like I was talking about, right? I like his comedy. That got that more than the stand-up videos. They're like, we like how he's thinking on the feet, how he's spontaneous, or this format is fun.
With crowd work, I think there's very less pretense as opposed to stand-up. I'm not saying yours or in general, but because you're on your feet, you are like, you could see that you're very, yes ma'am, yes sir, why don't you, very overtly respectful, so that you don't hurt anyone's sentiment. You let them finish their sentence. As soon as they're done, then you would go into the punchlines of it, which in sometimes is a reenactment as a character, which is your typical chamber guy. Aisa mai marega. You keep doing it because
I almost heard myself.
So that happens, and you try to weave in one audience member to other. So the reason is, when I saw that video, I was like, oh, the crowd has a mic. I can see Namit floating around with the monopod trying to record the audience. I know that this was intentionally recorded to be crowd work captured, as opposed to we're doing stand-up and crowd work got captured and I put it up and it blew up. Like this one was like, I want to do, which is one thing I didn't know. Like, where did it come from? This clarifies it all.
Yeah, that was the aim to like show that this is what crowd work is in whatever the rawest form that we believed at that point of time. And it's true, man. Like you said, crowd work is it's you're more naked doing a crowd work show than you're doing a stand-up show, which is scripted, pauses, everything. You know the beats, right? Crowd work, you are just backing yourself to be funny spontaneously, which means your real self is going to come out, which means that you need to be more cautious because your real self is not. I mean, sometimes you don't want your real self to come out, right?
Yeah.
But the only way you can crack good jokes or funny stuff is when you back yourself, which means you should allow your real self. So it's a conundrum in that sense.
Yeah.
You can't hurt other people. You can't think a lot. Then it's not spontaneous. Then a lot of funny things are because at the moment you say it.
Yeah.
You say the same thing again, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right. So it is that, which is also why it is exciting.